Heal TV. Let's heal the world.
Wọ́n gbé wá ẹ̀kọ́dé oríṣiríṣi bẹ́ẹ̀. Nǹkan tó wà ló ṣe kókó bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé ká máa mọ́nítọ̀ àwọn ọmọ yìí. Ká máa make sure pé àwọn aṣọ wọn lápá aṣọ wọn lẹ́sẹ̀.
Káwọn ọmọ nípa sexuality education ni wọ́n sì mọ̀ sí abortion ni wọ́n sì mọ̀ lo oògùn tí ó mọ̀ dínà kí wọ́n mọ̀ lóyún ni wọ́n sì mọ̀ lo condom nǹkan tó ń ká àwọn káàkiri à ń wo inú fíìmù àti nínú àwọn textbook wọn kan àwọn ń sọ wípé àfẹ́ eléyìí o àwọn ọmọ wa tí wọ́n wà ní pípé ẹ̀sìn mùsùlùmí àti ẹ̀sìn kìrìsìtẹ́nì kò bá kí àwọn ọmọ bára wọn sùn láti kékeré tó wọlé ọkọ lọ ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan táwọn ní òde òní ni pé àti inú tẹlifíṣàn ni àti inú rédíò ni àti inú àwọn textbook tó ń kọ́ wọn lọ́kùn ní sexuality education nǹkan tí wọ́n ń kọ́ wọn ni wọ́n sọ pé àwọn òfin lè yí o.
I am Adeneko Fauzia ní Ilolawa. What do we mean by comprehensive sexuality education? It's a situation whereby these children are being taught all the rudiments of sexuality. If you see most parents, they leave their children to the hands of the teachers. They don't even care about what they are being taught in school. Most of them don't really know what is really happening to their children. Their children need to know all these things from home, but they learn only from school. Aside that, they learn from their colleagues on the internet and on social media, of which all these things can affect them. It also brings about thinking they are civilized, they can do anything. They can have free sex among themselves. But what we are trying to tell them is that the fact that you learn about sex education doesn't mean that you should practicalize it. It's just for you to be aware of yourself. Free sex is not their right. What they need to know is to keep their own dignity. All these things are things that we cherish in Africa, and our parents, our forefathers, they are doing it. And these are the things we need to encourage our children to do. But comprehensive sexual education is opening to them in the television, in our books, in our social media. They feel they are free to do anything. But this is a call for our parents. Most parents, when you leave home, take good care of your children. Check what they are doing. When they are mature to know about themselves, about the sex, teach it to them. Don't let them learn it from outside. And all of our people that are here, we have students among us, and we have parents, we have teachers, we have principals. All these things can be corrected in the curriculum. We are Africans, and we need to protect our dignity. We need to protect our children. The primary aim of the parents is to take care of their children. Irrespective of what work you are doing, make sure you have time for your children.
Sexuality education ní Nàìjíríà ń bí báyìí wọ́n pè ní family life HIV education ẹ̀kọ́ yóò dára fún àwọn ọmọ wa rárá torí ní New York ní Birmingham àwọn ìlú ọ̀làjú tá a pè nínú ọ̀làjú ibi tó ti kọ́ àwọn ọmọ ní àwọn òfẹ́ tó ń kọ́ àwọn ọmọ ní ìkọkúkọ kí ni àwọn ìkọkúkọ tó wà nínú comprehensive sexuality education wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ọmọ wa tó kéré tó ọmọ 15 wọ́n bá ti George wọ́n bá ti wọ adolescent bẹ́ẹ̀ pé wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ àti máa ṣe àṣepọ̀ pé nǹkan tó kọ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ pé kọ́ṣà máa lóyún àwọn máa fún wọn ní condom àpọ̀.
Okay, I'm Alima Ali Bankole. But I think I have to first of all commend the government because of some of the laws that they have put in place. Like the law in our country that says that abortion is illegal. So that's a very, very important law. Another law that I also want to commend the government for is the law on the same-sex prohibition bill that says that we cannot accommodate lesbianism, homosexuality, and all the likes here. Then recently there was a code of practice about social media usage, about hate speech. So we want to advise the government that can they also extend that code of practice to issues that are illegal in the country, so that anything that is illegal in the country or things that are against our Nigerian values, against our moral values, against our religious values, that there should be restriction of it on the internet. Because you know the young people, they live on the internet, and we have seen NGOs, non-governmental organizations that are actively grooming 15 to 19-year-old adolescents. Even they have ever held a webinar on how to use condoms for 15 to 19-year-olds, and they have videos of the kind of contraceptives that they use. And I'm looking like, is this real? Are these Nigerian kids? But yes, they are our Nigerian adolescents talking about the different contraceptives that they are using. And on that Facebook page, you can easily just send a message, and they say they can even give you these contraceptives for free. So that means our government really needs to do something about our internet space. Yeah, there should be more sensitization, particularly in the schools. So the most important sensitization is from the parents. You see, nobody can love these children like their parents. So that's the brain behind the sensitization. We are talking to the parents here that please, can you be more involved with your children? Can you just not send them to school alone? Look into their notes, look into their textbooks, attend their PTA meeting. Like now that we have talked about this new thing we are seeing all over the world, there's something called comprehensive sexuality education. We've been hearing about it on the internet, and we've also seen that it's called family life HIV education. And interestingly enough, we are seeing in some of our textbooks, we actually see family life HIV education in some of our textbooks. I came across the curriculum, the International Technical Guidance on Sexuality Education, and that curriculum was saying that age 9 to 12 should be taught about the functions of the reproductive organs. And yes, our own children here are currently being taught about the functions of reproductive organs. I mean, actually the diagram of the male reproductive organ and the diagram of the female reproductive organ in primary 5 textbooks. And it doesn't only stop at that, it explains what each of these parts is. Kind of graphic, I can't really say it here, but I want to implore everybody to go and check out a primary 5, that's basic 6, basic science textbook. You will come across the topic reproduction, and then you can say for yourself if you are comfortable with your 9 or 10-year-old being taught those lessons. We have to continue to engage our parents. We just have to keep talking to parents and talking to our schools, because we are seeing that this thing, we read that the comprehensive sexuality education is either being taught in school or is taught out of school. So we believe that school is a safe space, and we trust our school system here. So we'll continue to engage with the school managements that we can reach, and begin to tell them about the reasons why as parents we are not interested in this education. And then I think the reason, like I was saying, that the problem why this thing was able to come is because some parents are negligent of that. Maybe the African shyness, I can't talk about this, or it didn't used to be talked about. So we have to grow away from that stage, our parents. We have to begin to talk to our children. Let us be the first sexuality educators of our children. We can determine what is age appropriate for our own children.
Matt, I want to show this to you. You're a parent, right? Okay? It's perfectly normal for 10 years and up. So I'll answer that with one word: Kinsey. Kinsey was a social reformer. He wanted to rid society of Judeo-Christian values when it came to sexuality. And he worked very hard to do that, and I would say he succeeded.
Kinsey would be very happy with our culture today. His idea was that children are sexual from birth, that we're all inherently sexual creatures from cradle to grave. He believed that true happiness is found in a life of perverse sexual experimentation, no matter the age.
What came out is that his research was fraudulent.
Kinsey based his fraudulent conclusions on data he collected from convicted sex offenders and child molesters. His research was conducted in prisons, not everyday America. He also performed horrific sexual experiments on children, some under the age of 1. His most influential book, Sexual Behavior in the Human Male, contains an infamous chart called Table 34, which documents the orgasms of very young kids, including babies as young as 5 months old. But instead of suffering the consequences for his heinous actions, he was and still is celebrated by academia and Hollywood. His ideas form the foundation for sexual education in public schools today.